If you have been saying someday for years, this video is for you. So take a seat, turn up the volume, and let's talk about this, and especially why it is so bad for you as a creative person. So, this idea of someday I will get to it. Someday I will write down this idea I have in my head. Someday I will sit down and finish my book. Someday. But we all know what happens with that someday. It turns into never. Or quite frequently, it turns into never because it's just easy. It's easy to push things off until tomorrow, until when things calm down, until when the kids get older, until when my job gets easier. All of these are variations of someday. And the real danger with that is there's always something. There's always something that can be slotted into that that barrier between here and someday. And there's always something. And it just pushes that further and further out until you sit down and you're like, holy crap, a decade of my life has gone by. Like a literal decade has gone by. I remember, like speaking from experience, I was cleaning a room in my house, and I saw a to-do list from 2012. And that to-do list, it still wasn't checked off. Like I felt sick. I felt horrible about it because some of the items on there were just things that were like menial and I clearly just forgot. But other things, I was like, oh my gosh, it's still important to me. Like number one on the to-do list still hasn't been checked off, and it is now 2026, and it's still important to me. And that item was to write this one book idea that I had in 2012. And when you keep pushing things aside, especially something as vital and important as your creativity, there's real harm in that. Not only are more studies showing that when you don't tap into your creativity, it can make you sick, but there's harm in it, there's danger in that it creates all this tension and stress inside you. This tension of like, I should do it today. I should do it today, but I didn't do it today and now I suck and I'm a failure. And you can just start this downward spiral of really bad self-talk that leads you to not a good place, not an empowering place, not a place where you feel like, you know, you've done something well. Just it's a place where you're just like, yeah, I do suck. Yeah, I see it everywhere. All sorts of signs that I have failed. The thing is that that's not actually true, but it can feel that way when you are just constantly in that tension of, I know I should do something. Oh my gosh, my camera's really strange today. I know I should do something, but I am just not doing it. And there's a lot of horrible tension there, and it's not fun. And like I said, it doesn't lead anywhere good. Stress, which can literally cause you to get sick. And when you think of it like, especially as a writer, these things don't have to stay in your head. You can publish them. You can look at this camera. Oh my gosh. Clearly, I need to tape the, I mean, it is already taped down, but I clearly need to get different tape because, oh, this is so funny. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, I think I fixed my camera, so let's continue. But I'm sure you're getting the picture that I'm painting. When you have a part of you, a creative part of you that is just so, you know, you've had it since you were a baby, or this is maybe a newly discovered part of your DNA, but it's there and you have stories and characters, not doing anything with that, and you really want to, and you're just like berating yourself, it's just not good. And so the problem too is that really capable and really smart people fall into this I'll do it someday trap, especially with writing. Like I work with writers all the time. I have been coaching and editing writers since 2008, and I've worked with hundreds of people. and they're all wonderful souls and they're all very creative. But it is so easy to fall into this trap because let's face it, life is busy, responsibilities are relentless, and the first thing that goes, just like in a public school system, are the arts. Because you just think, I gotta do dishes, I gotta do taxes, I gotta have a job, I gotta have a second job or third job. And like, there's family, there's pets, there's just so many things. And then it becomes the last thing you think about is yourself. And also, I can speak from experience because this is all like lived experience. I don't just coach people through it, I had to coach myself through it too. But when you're in a really stressful time, when life is really busy, it's like your cognitive fuel tank is all the way like hovering on fumes. And it's just hard to be creative when you're in that space. It's just hard. It's hard to think about your stories whenever you're like, wow, I don't know if I can make ends meet this week. Or, wow, I don't have any food in my refrigerator. Like, that is really hard. And so this someday trap is both for your subconscious, you could say. It's a safe place to put you in because it keeps you small and safe. But it's also an easy place to put yourself in because it's just right there. It is just right there to say, you know what? I'm going to do this hard work of writing a manuscript later when things calm down in that someday. There is also grief to this because I can tell you when I saw that to-do list and I remembered that story idea, not that I ever really forgot it, but it was more on the back burner because I get ideas all the time. I'm a writer too. It just made me feel sad. It made me feel sad for all the progress I didn't make. It made me feel sad for like the people who I really wanted to celebrate with when I finished this book. And I had this moment of grief and really shame that I couldn't get myself together enough to get this done. And it's only been over, a decade. And so there is just there's this whole thing, this whole line of events that happen when you are pushing things off till someday. However, here's the good news is that you don't have to keep in this space. Like, trust me, when I say if I can do it, you can do it, I mean that from the bottom of my heart because I can clearly delineate my life into a before and an after, into like this act one and then an act two. I am not counting childhood because I had the best childhood on earth. I'm counting like as an adult, 18 plus. And so when I look at my life, my first act, it was not fabulous. It was a little bit lifeless. It was, and maybe I'm looking at it with a hard kind of glance to it, but when I say that it was lifeless, I mean that I was not fully tapping in to my creativity in a way that I really, really wanted to, especially in my 30s. I am not 30 anymore. So it felt like, you know, I started strong, but then it just everything fell apart. And so I quit writing. I quit wearing makeup. I quit taking care of myself. I quit like everything that brought me joy. It just kind of all fell away. And one of the things that brought me so much joy is writing. And yet I just couldn't keep up with it. And the point is that there was a moment when I was like, I am so miserable. I let another birthday go by and I still haven't accomplished anything, like anything. And that's nuts. And I just threw a line in the sand and I was like, I can't. And to be clear, like I drew that line in the sand, but it still took time. It still was like dragging myself across to where I needed to go. Not all the time, but there were moments that it was a struggle. And so it wasn't like in the movies where I was just like, I'll never go hungry again. And then my life just instantly got better via like a song and I had my huge makeover and I was suddenly the Princess of Genovia. Like it took effort and structure and support and so much calling out my own BS. and so much being honest with myself and why I was doing things, why I wasn't doing things. And when that happened, when all that clicked, oh my gosh, my camera is like moving up again. I feel like I'm just a little head like disappearing. Anyway, bear with me. Um, when that happened though, and I was honest and I did get structures and support, and that's when I finally hit my stride. I was finally doing the things that set my heart on fire in a good way, like in a good way. I was finally doing things where I was excited to wake up in the morning because I got to tell you, there were times I was not. There were times it just was like I fell asleep stressed, thinking about my problems, and I woke up with those same thoughts running through my head. And now I'm like, I can't wait for the next day to start. I can't wait to get back to my books and my writing. I can't wait to get back to like what I'm doing because I finally have that clarity and insight and alignment and all those beautiful things where everything that I was saying someday to, I finally pulled in to the now. And is this process like a snap and a song and a movie montage? No, but it can be done. I've done it for myself. The ultimate couch potato, the ultimate mayor of self-sabotage city. I've done it for myself. And I've coached other writers through it as well, like Sam, who was like she's so amazing. And I have an interview coming up with her soon, but she was kind of stuck like me, where her job, her family, like they came first. And rightfully, you know what I mean? Like you have to have your priorities. I'm not saying quit everything and just, write with no money. But she had her priorities, but it was easy for life to kind of sidebar her writing. And then, like me, she was just fed up with it one day. She's like, I can't. I can't let another birthday go by. I cannot do it. And so she hired me, we worked together, and we accomplished so much. Like in less than a year, she finally, like, she finally made the moves. She wrote 3 stories and a novella, self-published her debut, just published right now, just a few weeks ago, her second novel in a trilogy. And she even, like, I think it was last month, she was auditioning book narrators for her debut book. She got readers taking pictures of her book, of them holding her book poolside. Like, that's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the power of structure and a guide, someone who's been there, someone who can go to where you are. I say it's like being lost in a wilderness. And at first, you're like, okay, I can get out of here. I'm going to just move and move and move. I'm going to get out of here. But after a while, you realize, uh-oh, I think I've seen that tree 8 times. Like, I think I'm doing nothing but walking in a circle, and it's getting dark, and I'm getting tired and hungry, and there's scary rustlings about. And so, some people, they keep moving. Like they just keep trying. Other people, they're just like, I'm sitting here because I don't want to move another step. I don't want to get more lost. And so I won't move at all. And then there's some people who just get so exhausted, they can't take another step. They've tried everything and they're just like, I quit. I have to stop because I don't have the energy to keep pushing myself. That's what this creative life can feel like. That's what writing a book can feel like. That is what bringing in someday to now can feel like. And so, in that situation, like, you don't need more generic things. You don't need AI. You need someone who knows the terrain, can meet you where you are and say, come on, let's get you out of here. Let's get you out of here. I know the way. We're going to avoid the potholes. We're going to avoid the snake beds. We're going to get you out of here and get you walking north again, or, whatever direction we need to get you walking in. And so that's why this someday thing, you can try to push through on your own. But what will help you most is someone who's been there and people who will encourage the journey, not accidentally dampen it, not accidentally like, you know, say something derisive and you're just like, oh, okay, maybe I'm doing something stupid. You don't want to ever invite people along for the journey who will just say like, why are we on this? When are we going to get there? Are you done yet? Like, you don't need that kind of energy. You need people who won't dim your fire, but actually do what they can to make it grow even brighter. And so, if this is resonating with you, you need to get in touch with me. Comment below because I have a Founders Round very special coaching program happening right now. February 8th is when we kick off, and it's really amazing. I can tell you all the details. I can send you a link if you comment just anything below. Comment, comment now. How about that? NOW. You can comment that word, and I will know that you are interested in learning a little bit more about this program. But basically, too many amazing people have stories inside of them, and they want to tell them. They want to tell them so badly. They walk into a bookstore and they're like, I want to be in here. I want my story to be in here. And they're so sad that it's not. And they're like, what do I have to do? What will it take? And I'm like, I got you. I got you. This is what I do. I help people take their ideas and turn them into stories. I help people become and live their creative life because I just know how important it is to living well. If you're creative and you're not using that creativity, that sucks. That's a hard way to go through life. But if you are creative and you do allow that to lead and you do allow that to come in, it just changes the whole game. So comment now and I will send you that link. And I can't wait to officially meet you. So, okay, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to tape down my camera because it just got weird. And I hope to see you inside. So, you got this. Let's turn someday into today. All right. Bye.